What's going on, everybody? We are back as usual. You already know JV Wins Dogon SS here for another, hopefully, welcomed edition to the Conscious Approach channel on YouTube. Appreciate everybody who's checking in, following along with us, joining in on the stream, or checking us out via our video uploads to the channel each and every day. We appreciate all the support as we continue to kick out that logical content. Thank you very much. As always, want to get the disclaimers out there first. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. Conscious Approach, you can search us. We are now available everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but in the most apt places for you to receive your podcast. So if you're not in position to check out the YouTube videos, but you are, in the car or you at the gym, you want to get the auditory face, go ahead and check us out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. We are now in those places. Just want to be available in every way possible. Also, check us out on Instagram at Conapproach, CONAPPROACH. I had put TikTok on hold because I didn't know what was going to happen, but it looks like at least for the next 70 days, TikTok is still around. So working on getting getting the channel going so that we can get the videos popping there as well. But in the meantime, you already know where to find us: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon. So that is what we got going on, man. We appreciate the support. Always remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the commentary in this or any other video as we continue to get things rocking and rolling. Thanks to everybody who has joined this community along with us. We do it for the love, engagement. So thank you in advance to all those who will be joining the tribe in the future. And of course, much appreciation to all those who have already done so. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get everything moving. First thing that we are going to go ahead and talk about today is Snoop Dogg, who is doubling down on answering the haters, letting the haters know that backlash towards him, he is not fazed by it. Although he did not specifically say this, he is seemingly responding to people who are upset with him because he elected to perform at the crypto ball, I think is what it's called, which was Donald Trump's inauguration celebration event. To anyone who has been keeping up with this, Nelly caught a whole bunch of backlash for this, to which he also responded and doubled down, saying that he respects the office, so he ain't tripping off the backlash. Even people associated with Nelly are catching strays, like Ashanti. Ashanti ain't even have nothing to do with it, but some of her zombie fans decided to shut down fan pages on Instagram because they are so upset that Nelly decided to perform at this event. Like we said, also Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross took a lot of flack, as well as Soulja Boy. Anybody who is melanated took a lot of heat. Actually, let me take that back. Anybody, period, took a lot of heat for deciding to be a part of these proceedings, because even Carrie Underwood, who agreed to sing America the Beautiful at one of the events surrounding the inauguration, took heat. So obviously skin color is not the line of demarcation separating those who will get criticized from those who won't when it comes to anything Trump related. Snoop Dogg is no exception. And he is basically saying, hey, listen, let's focus on the right things. You are not stopping my joy. If you're mad at me, it's just wasted energy. So you can either focus on the things that matter or continue to dwell in your own misery. But suffice to say, Snoop is not here for any of the criticism. He frankly doesn't care, and he's unfazed by it. So that is going to be the topic that kicks off tonight's episode. So this says Snoop Dogg issues defiant response to Trump performance backlash. You can't tear me down. Snoop Dogg has finally responded to the criticism he's received for performing at an event in celebration of Trump's return to the White House, and he isn't waving the white flag. While Snoop had previously been an outspoken critic of the controversial president, he, along with Rick Ross and Soulja Boy, performed at the Crypto Ball, one of several inauguration events held in Washington, D.C. earlier this month. After facing heavy backlash online, including from his own fans and social media followers, Snoop addressed his decision to perform at the event in a video posted on Instagram on Sunday, which was January the 26th. So I am not going to read these quotes because we are just going to go ahead and play the video. So here is what Snoop had to say in response to those who have a problem with his decision to do this. Let me refresh.
Yeah, you know how I go.
Oh, for some reason it's opening up a different tab. So let me unshare this.
Okay.
Open up where it is showing it. For whatever reason, it's opening up an external tab. So we'll just play it from the actual Instagram post itself. All right, so here we go.
I answer with love. Y'all can't hate enough on me. I love too much. Get your life right. Stop worrying about mine. I'm cool. I'm together. Still a black man. Still 100% black. All out. Till you ball out. Or till you fall out. I ain't going nowhere. Come right here. Yeah. On crypto. Yeah, get the crypto on crypto. Here we go. We gotta learn to pick each other up instead of pulling each other down. That's what we great at as black people. We great at tearing each other down. You could be up 1 minute and they'll try to pull you down the next. But I'm a strong black man. I'm cut from a different cloth. Can't tear me down. I'm one of God's child, one of his children. And I'm taking the load. Oh, here we go. Shout out to my grandkids and my kids, and my beautiful wife, my brother, uncles, aunties, family members, cousins. Y'all know what it is. Bang, bang. Only way to beat hate is with love. Learn from the dog. Teach you something every day. God bless y'all. I'm out. Hey. For all the hate, I'm going to answer.
All right, so the article goes on to say Snoop Dogg was dragged on social media after he performed at the pro Trump event and posed for pictures with far right influencers. A former Barack Obama staffer accused the rap legend of being a hypocrite after previously criticizing black artists who performed at Trump's first inauguration in 2017. Who would have guessed that Snoop Dogg would end up being one of the Uncle Tom ass N words he himself railed against not long ago? What a effing sellout, they vented on X, formerly Twitter. Despite his past animosity, Snoop has softened his stance towards Donald Trump ever since he pardoned Death Row co founder Michael Harry Harris in early 2021. In an interview with the Sunday Times last year, the Dog father said, Donald Trump, he ain't done nothing wrong to me. He has done only great things for me. He pardoned Michael Harris. So I have nothing but love and respect for Donald Trump. So, what do you make of Snoop, Mr. Calvin Brodus's defense against those who have a problem with his decision to perform at this event? Again, he didn't specifically say that that's what that was in response to, but you can put two and two together. So,
Well, I mean, his laid back demeanor about all of that, that was like money talking right there. That was fresh off. I just cashed the check. That's how I normally feel. You know what I'm saying, when payroll hits. So, I can feel his enthusiasm on that. So I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is why, honestly, I really don't feel like entertainers uh, should be getting involved in politics like that. They're going to because they're commissioned to and paid to, but I really feel like steering clear or just being neutral would be the best stance. Because whenever you go to these things, a lot of the people that are responsible for your being relevant still, they could be a little fickle and on both sides of the fence, so you could be losing people. Now, if you came in the game like that, on one side or whatever, then that's one thing. But if you were just never in the political scene and then you hop on it like Snoop does, then people are going to have their reservations and unfollow and have things to say. But honestly, I feel as though the guy can do whatever the hell he wants. I mentioned last time when we were talking about Nelly that, well, he is just an entertainer. He'll do anything for a damn check. And honestly, much like how I mentioned with the Nelly situation, Nelly ain't really getting money no more from our community anyway. So, Snoop's out here doing shows and, big shows at these large venues, and it's a mixed crowd, if you know what I mean. He's sitting around here doing The Voice. He's sitting around here doing other things, chilling with Martha Stewart and other stuff. Like he don't care about that no more. He's not in the trenches anymore. He's not pulling up to some your local club to do a show. So this guy's he went all the way Hollywood. So it's not like the people that are upset about this are the ones paying him anyway. Now, does that make it right what he's doing? No, but it makes he's in this position where he can stand on what he's doing, stand on what he's saying, and he doesn't feel any type of way about it. So, but if it was a situation where like literally 90% of his income, 80% of his income, 70% of his income was coming from the people that he's pissing off, he wouldn't have did it. But no, his money changed a long time ago, and it's been shifting over the past decade or so. So he's not worried about that. He got himself a check. And honestly, man, again, people's political views are their political views, man. I mean, it's so divisive nowadays, man. And I know politics was always a thing. They always say, "Hey, don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics," and I've been hearing that since I was a young man. So, I know that this has always been a thing, but I just can't help but feel, I don't know if it's recency bias or not, that people are really on edge about this stuff lately. And if you have your stance, then apparently you're the opposition and an enemy. So yeah, man. So Snoop, that was fresh. That was like fresh off. I just cashed the check energy right there. He didn't give a damn what anybody had to say because he saw those commas in his bank account. But what are your thoughts on Snoop D-O double G out here trying to spread love over the hate? What are your thoughts, bro?
I'm not upset with him for deciding to do the performance, nor am I upset or feel some type of way about him defending himself, because his decision to do this has nothing to do with politics, and it has everything to do with being paid. Snoop is like, Snoop is like Shaq. These guys are built businesses, man, not a businessman. They have very few things that they are willing to compromise in order to seek any sort of opportunity. I harken back to Dave Chappelle, his stand up, for what it's worth, way back in 2004 when he was talking about celebrity hero worship. And when he started talking about worshiping celebrities, there was one point in his set where he said, "I've done commercials for Coke and Pepsi. I don't." He said, "I've done commercials for Coke and Pepsi. I don't give a damn what comes out of my mouth. I just say whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, that's what I'm saying." And then he goes on to say, "Want to know a secret? I can't even taste the difference." Surprise! All I know is Pepsi paid me most recently, so Pepsi tastes better. And that's exactly what this is. That's exactly what this is. These individuals do this because they're being paid to do it, not because they are aligning themselves ideologically with whatever political candidate they are performing on behalf of. But that's what people do. People leap to the conclusion that one's decision to perform at an event such as this by default means that you are ideologically aligning yourself with the ideologies of that individual. And even if people are willing to concede that that isn't necessarily the case, what they are saying is, at the very least, you should be mindful of the fact that people are going to do that. Therefore, you should consider not doing it, or else risk alienating yourself from people who look up to you. And my response to people who feel that way is stop looking up to these celebrities because, again, they will do commercials for Coke and Pepsi. They don't care what comes out of their mouth. They will say whatever it takes just to get the money. They'll say whatever it takes. And they don't know that whether Snoop ideologically aligns with MAGA Republicans or not, you'll never know because these individuals will take the opportunity to do this because it comes with a big payday. It comes with a hefty payday. And at the end of the day, capitalism rules everything. It trumps politics and ideology, whether you like it or not. People idealistically want to believe that there should be certain things that are bigger than money, but to certain individuals in those positions, there isn't. And the payday is all that matters. And so, what people need to do is separate themselves from the idea that individuals should be cognizant of this sort of thing because they don't care. They will accept the payday. Stop feeling like these celebrities are supposed to ideologically align themselves in the way you think they need to. Because when push comes to shove, if they can get a big payday to perform at some event for somebody who isn't ideologically aligned with them, they might do it. So why are people so disappointed, right? Like, what causes an individual to become disappointed? To all the people who are upset with the likes of Nelly and Snoop Dogg because they performed at the crypto ball, why are you disappointed? Well, disappointment comes in when there is a violation of expectations, meaning your expectations are that people like Nelly and Snoop shouldn't be performing at events like this. Why do you think they shouldn't be performing at events like this? Because you think that philosophically, ideologically, they should be aligned in such a way that it would prohibit them from performing in certain places, this being one of them. But we don't live in that world. And honestly, we never did. Michael Jordan said 30, 40 years ago, Republicans buy shoes too. And they got mad at him for that because his whole stance was I'm politically neutral when it comes to my business. I'm not going to lean ideologically one way or the other. I'm going to go where the money is. And to certain people, they view the bigger picture as the bigger my bottom line is, the more I can impact my community via resources, finances, and various other fiscal opportunities. And so they'll play the corporate game in order to meet that end goal. Now, I'm not saying that that's the right or wrong approach. I'm just saying it's an approach. And you can't necessarily, well, you can, but I believe it's wasted energy to cast aspersions on somebody who takes that route. Every single individual who is upset because of people like Snoop Dogg and Nelly performing at events like this, they can speculate, but they don't definitively know one way or another what those individuals' political leanings are. They are drawing conclusions because of their decision to do this. But their decision to do this is based purely on getting a check. And when it comes to capitalism, right or wrong, fair or unfair, I feel like you have to separate your ideological leanings from one's propensity for seeking opportunity. And we can live in a pie in the sky world where you feel as though there should be a line that you shouldn't cross for no amount of money. And that's a cute sentiment, but some people don't care and they don't feel that way. And at the end of the day, are you really going to get mad at them if Snoop Dogg were to show up in your neighborhood trying to put $1 million or two worth of resources into your neighborhood to make it better? You're going to accept whatever it is that he wants to contribute. You will. Not you specifically, but people in general. They will. Like all those people who are mad at Snoop because he performed at this event. If he showed up in a helicopter tomorrow in your neighborhood and was like, I got $10 million. I'm going to build a tech school, a community center, and I'm going to refurnish all of the houses in this neighborhood. Are you going to tell him no because he performed at the crypto event? No, you're not. You're going to accept that gift. And in part, he was able to bestow you with that gift because he took that check. So my point is, this stuff is all grayed out. It's all blurry. It's all matters of nuance. And my bottom line point is people need to stop it with the celebrity hero worship and having expectations for these people. Because when it comes to the opportunity to get a check, there's very little that they'll compromise. Snoop included, Nelly included. And you got to get over that because you need to look at the right people to hold accountable for fixing things. Your local civil servants your local leaders in your own communities, the people who are actually paid to be stewards of change in your areas, neighborhoods, communities, in your cities, and all that kind of stuff. Like, have that same energy for those people. But I think people have a general propensity for ignoring those individuals and latching on to celebrities and famous people who are just getting $1 million worth of a check to perform at an event like this. So it is what it is. If people want to get mad, they can go ahead and get mad. But at the end of the day, we need to chill with the celebrity hero worship because they will do commercials for Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah, man. Well said. And way to bring that Dave Chappelle joke in. Forgot about that one. So that was
Classics, classic stuff.
that was a great one. But yeah, man. So people they're gonna be upset. Even with you waxing poetic there. They're still gonna be like, to hell with Snoop Dogg. And it's probably some people that's out here like on some, well, he doesn't, yeah, he can do it for the checker, but it's still the image.
Yeah,
Of
the
yeah,
symbolism.
the
Yeah.
symbolism of it all. And but here's my thing with that. So yeah, Snoop did that. And for the people that want to be upset about the imagery, see, I love how these people get so outraged about this, but then turn around and watch Housewives of XYZ. I love how people do this and then go turn on Power, chapter book 11. I love how they get mad at Snoop here and then turn on their favorite drill artists and talk about unaliving ops and selling drugs to the auntie and them. Because that imagery to me is more damning than one concert performance. That is on repeat. People be watching, season after season of these shows. They like a favorite song or a favorite album and stay on repeat. They listen to it days on end, weeks on end, years on end. And that imagery stays. And that imagery has a more direct and damaging impact in your immediate community, in your immediate home, in your immediate brain. So the same people that would like to unfollow Snoop Dogg just because he did a performance, you should unfollow those people that talk about unaliving people in their community. But they don't do that. They say that's entertainment. Well, what was Snoop Dogg doing?
Right. Yep.
Was he not entertaining? Well, that's different. How so? So, so those people that love to get upset about these things, my whole thing is it's fine to be upset about it. Just keep the same energy. And but they're not gonna do that. That's a little bit too much work. What do you mean? Well, so I'm supposed to not like what am I supposed to watch? It's the only thing on TV.
Right.
Oh, why is that the only thing on TV? So you gotta sit here and really evaluate what's going on if you want to be upset about these kinds of things. So I understand that these types of things have been out of my control. People like Snoop Dogg or whoever else is going to do whatever they want to do for a check. And yeah, I can be upset about it in one hand, but in the other hand, try to do things that stay consistent across the board and keep that energy across the board with things that I don't, I'm not pleased with these people about. And so it could be somebody that, I really jive with in the past, but here they go with the BS. And it's like, you know what, man, I can't rock with your stuff. There's a lot of people that just are not in my playlist anymore because of things that I know. I just can't listen to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to hear that. So yeah, man. So just keep the same energy if you want to be upset at them. If you want to say that we got on soft shoes and we're chucking and jiving over here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If that's how you feel about it, well, keep the same energy. I hope that energy has remained the same throughout everything. And you're not secretly watching Ghost Power Chapter 11. So yeah, just keep the same energy. That would be my message for those haters out there.
Yeah, very well said. That's a very good point. Yeah, that's very well said. It reminds me of a couple last presidential election when Trina and Saucy Santana, right? You know, it's Trina and Saucy Santana. They did that song, "No Voting, No Vucking," right? Just appealing to the lowest common denominator of FBA tropes that people have clung to in this country for the longest time. And I was drawing a parallel between that and the conversation around Kanye wearing a shirt that said "White Lives Matter." And I remember saying, if you want to get mad at Kanye for wearing a shirt that says "White Lives Matter," then you also need to feel some type of way about that song with Trina and Saucy Santana. Because, in my opinion, both forms of content achieve the same end goal. If you want to get mad at Kanye for wearing a White Lives Matter shirt, then you should also get upset at Joe Biden for publicly saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Exactly.
So, people pick and choose when to get outraged, and they tend to choose the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest target. And these days, MAGA, Republicans, conservatives, traditionalists represent the easiest target. But look, man, people need to check themselves. People need to take inventory on themselves. A lot of y'all who don't like the fact that Snoop performed at that event, a lot of y'all who will get on social media with the quickness, with your anti-conservative ideals and your anti-traditionalist ideals, your anti-Republican ideals, righteous because you believe that the good guys are the liberals and all of that other stuff. Y'all are the same. I have heard some people who are the bluest of the blue, the liberalist of the liberal, say some of the craziest stuff about gay people, women, Hispanic people. Like, some of y'all have said some of the same stuff that allegedly people like Donald Trump have said that y'all hate so much. Some of y'all have the same biased opinions and viewpoints. So at the end of the day, what are you really mad at? You should be mad at yourself too, because a lot of y'all have the same sort of prejudice ideologies depending on the subject matter. So people really need to take inventory of themselves. You want to get mad at Snoop and Nelly and other celebrities because they performed at the crypto ball because of what it represents. But a lot of the ideologies that you pray tell to be represented in individuals like Trump, I've heard you say out loud to me in typical conversations on a day-to-day basis when I'm around you. So what's the difference? But people don't even really understand where their hypocrisies lie, and they just kind of go with what's easy and they go with what the wave is. Trump bad guy, red bad guy. So we're against the bad guy. So let me go with the wave on whatever it is that goes against that because I want to feel like I'm on the side of righteousness. But in a lot of ways, you're being hypocritical. So I hear everything you're saying. You're absolutely right. People need to take inventory on the various things that they watch, listen to, and consume whenever they want to engage in righteous indignation, going after these celebrities who are doing nothing more than going after a check.
Yeah, man. Hey, so if some of these people out here were so righteous, they work for people that, they at least in the back of their mind think is racist. But you know what I'm saying? They sit there and they put on their soft shoes and chuck and drive at the job, and working for the man, whatever man that is, and for a check. What's the difference? So now, if you don't like that, now there's people out there that got their own businesses, employing people that look like us, and you know what I'm saying. So y'all got a different ground to stand on. But the overwhelming majority of these people that are upset with Snoop, I would argue that they clock in somewhere like everybody else. And you chuck and jive for a living, for a check. This is just his form. And I'm no Snoop Dogg apologist. He's at this point he represents an energy that I'm talking about. And you can choose to be mad at that energy now, but you should have been mad at him. You should have never been a fan of that. Anything that he did to get to where he's at. Because everything that he did to get to this point, it was to exploit you. To create, to be an archetype for the stereotype that is people that's here in America that look like us. So Snoop has been chucking and jiving. you know. So to be mad at him about this is the point where it's like, what? This is what took you to realize that this guy was selling this out a long time ago?
It's because it's easy. Like it's easy for everybody to rally around this one guy. That guy being uh Trump.
Orange
Yeah,
man.
yeah. It's just it's an easy it's an easy target. Whenever it's an easy target, it makes it easier for everyone to reconcile everything that they may have done in the past and however they may have lived up to this point, so that they can now hop the fence and jump on the side of righteousness. Despite the fact that there are tons of other things that they are doing personally, professionally, and otherwise to further contribute to the very thing that they claim to hate, symbolized by what Snoop did performing at this event. So, that's the whole thing about this stuff, man. People like Trump are just lightning rods and easy targets. They're low common denominators. And it gives all of these hypocrites, these walking, flaming hypocrites out here, an opportunity to feel righteous for a while. That's what it does. And when he's no longer able to provide you with the opportunity to hop over to temporary righteousness because he can no longer serve because his term is over, what are you going to do? You're going to have to pick the next target or actually live by this stuff. And I would gather most people aren't going to live by this stuff. They're going to keep doing all the things that you're describing. They're going to keep watching the Powers, and they're going to keep watching the BMFs, and they're going to keep listening to the musics, and they're going to keep doing this stuff. And they're going to herald it as us authentically representing ourselves.
Exactly. The culture.
Yeah. So what are you going to do?
Hey man, so hey Snoop, I know that check was pretty large. You seem to be chilling real hard right there in that car, listening to some nice little classics, man. So yeah, man, it is what it is, bro. So everybody out there, man, get yourself a Snoop check somehow, some way, man, and maybe you'll lighten up as well. So
yeah, y'all, people need to take inventory of themselves. They really do. But it is what it is. We just talking.
Orange man bad. Orange man terrible.
Oh.